Next person is going to be joining us online. Majbritt, are you with us?
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Majbritt is from Alver world. Majbritt, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So at Alver, we have developed a range of high protein vegan foods that are super sustainable, super tasty, with our unique microalgae golden chlorella. Next. So we started 4 years ago. We come from two very different backgrounds, Mina and myself. I'm for the financial industry, and she herself was the head of protein R&D at Nestle. And together we're building the sustainable company to really have the best types of proteins that require the least resources. Next. We're also very, very proud for what we've achieved so far and all the help and recognition that we're getting. Here are just some examples. Next. So really the problem is that we've got a big shift happening. People are moving more and more towards sustainable foods, vegan foods, but 1/3 of Europeans who no longer consider themselves necessarily meat eaters are not really satisfied with what is on the market. Next. The current solutions that are out there, for example, the Beyond Meats and Impossible Foods, are still not ideal solutions. They're generally genetically modified. They're unhealthy with very, very long ingredient lists with a lot of ingredients that not even I recognize and are not actually that sustainable. Microalgae, on the other hand, we know is an exceptional source of nutrition. It's naturally high in protein, but it has the problem of this very strong algae taste and this very green color. So next. What we've developed is we've developed a very unique golden chlorella. So it's a chlorella which is 100% natural, and it's naturally yellow. It's naturally rich in omegas, in carotenoids, obviously all the amino acids, and therefore a superfood and can be incorporated into food. So what we're doing is we're shifting out of supplements into the food industry so that we can have a much, much bigger impact. Next. So going on the healthy side of it, we've developed this range of high protein vegan foods that are all high in protein, meaning over 20%, rich in magnesium, potassium, zinc, vitamin B, and obviously have to taste good. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a spot in the food industry. Next. The next is the sustainability, which is what we're really here to talk about. As far as today, from the full life cycle analysis that we've done, we have the most sustainable protein available today on Earth. Next. We require on average 44 times less water than for the production of beef. So on average, also with arable land and with CO2 emissions, we're talking about roughly 4,000% less than for the production of meat. Next. Our production is a fermentation process. So we have a trade secret on our strain. We feed the algae with waste sugar. It is fermented. It is fermented in the dark, so it doesn't have the chlorophyll. After that, it's washed, it's dried, and it's packaged. So it's 100% natural. There's no transformation done, and we can use renewable sugars and waters. Next. We cover 11 of the SDG goals. Next. Then going on to the taste. So to really be in the food industry, it's got to be tasty. And this has been a big part of the disruption in food tech. Next. So we've created many, many recipes as well with the ingredients. So with our range of products, we have finished foods, and we also have the pure chlorella that people can incorporate into everyday foods without changing their habits, without changing their palates, so that everybody can enjoy the chlorella. Next. It's not only a superfood, so rich in magnesium, potassium, zinc, vitamin B, all of those super high benefits of minerals and vitamins. It is also an excellent natural binder, and therefore also very good to work with plant proteins, but with other types of products to help the binding facilities, which plant proteins generally have issues with. Next. We see ourselves as the next step, the next trend after plant. Plant have had their space, plant has opened up a lot of doors, but it can still be done better. And this is where microalgae sits in as the next trend coming on, and possibly before the lab meat kick in. Next. Our sales so far, so we are in large, so Manor and Co-op, but also in Sunstore. We've gone very much online as well during COVID, and our sales have tenfolded over the 4 years. Next. And we have a very experienced team. Our CFO has worked in many smaller companies and big companies. Our logistics is a pharmacist. Our sales director is a medical doctor who has a lot of sales experience. Our marketing director has worked also in large and small companies, and our R&D director is an expert in everything to do with microalgae, and he is now developing not just a golden chlorella, but also a white chlorella, and moving into the red chlorella so that we can use it in dairy applications, but also in meat applications, which is our next project. Next. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Majbritt. Very informative. Appreciate that. Next, we have a